Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kimberly Bethany Benora. In this series, we'll be practicing yoga and exercise, breath and meditation, stress management, and self-care. You can find me on the web at www.drkimberlybenora.com and on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Dr. Kimberly Benora. Remember, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. By continuing with the video, you, the viewer, are agreeing to and accepting the terms of the following waiver of liability. You acknowledge the following. I understand that the materials provided, including yoga and meditation, include physical activity, and, as with all physical activity, there is the risk of injury of varying types and degrees, which risk cannot be entirely eliminated. If I experience any pain or discomfort, I agree that I will discontinue the activity. I assume full responsibility for any and all damages which may be incurred as a result of my watching and/or participating in this video. I understand that the materials provided, including yoga and meditation, are not a substitute for medical attention, examination, diagnosis, or treatment, nor are they recommended or safe under certain medical conditions. I understand that I am advised to have a physician verify the status of my health and physical condition as sufficient to allow me to participate in the activities provided by the program. I also affirm that I alone am responsible to decide whether to practice with this video, and my participation is at my own risk. I agree to irrevocably release and waive any claims that I have now or may have hereafter against Kimberly Bethany Benora, LLC, and its instructors, content creators, and any employees or affiliates. I have read and fully understand and agree to the above terms of this liability waiver agreement. I understand that my watching of this video serves as my consent to this waiver, and to complete an unconditional release of all liability to the greatest extent allowed by law. Hello again, and thank you for joining me today. Today I would like to talk about difficult emotions and how we can work through them. So I'm going to talk a little bit about theory and philosophy, and then we're going to do a meditation practice to help you deal with whatever difficult emotions you may be currently experiencing. And by difficult emotions, I mean the emotions that are difficult to feel. Grief when we've lost someone or something that we love. Anger when we feel threatened. Vulnerability, depression, sadness, anxiety. All of those things that are fundamentally a part of the human experience, but which are hard to experience. If you are familiar with my great course, How to Make Stress Work for You, then you know that core and key to my philosophy is the notion that stress happens because we care. If we didn't care about anything, we wouldn't feel these difficult emotions. We feel difficult emotions because of things we care about. And so they are fundamentally part of life. And we need to work together and work on self-care strategies and meditation practices to learn how to get through them and to manage them and to deal with them. So when I was a kid in the 80s, first starting yoga and meditation, it was very much, positive thinking and optimism and affirmations and that sort of philosophy, and the idea that if you were sad, you should just say, no, I am happy, and, push your way into the attitude you wanted. The challenge with that is that just puts you into a fight with yourself. And if your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are fighting, no matter what, you're the loser. There is no winning when you fight with yourself, ever, period. It just creates more stress and more difficult emotions and more of a sense of that you're doing something wrong. When I came to the deeper meditation practice and I came upon mindfulness-based theory, the analogy that I have come to hold very dear to my heart is that our emotions are like the ocean, and we are not our emotions. We are not sadness, we feel sadness. We are not happiness, we feel happiness. So we are the observer. We are the person who is swimming in the ocean, and our emotions are that ocean in which we are. And so sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it's a day at the beach. We're maybe playing beach volleyball, or we're splashing about and making sandcastles, and the water is the perfect temperature, and it's not too hot and it's not too sunny, but it's just perfect, and we're having a lovely day, and it's happy and joyful and fun and relaxing, and those emotions are lovely, and we don't even think about the experience because we're so happy to be in it. And then other days we get dropped in the middle of the water, out in the middle of a hurricane, and there's rain clouds and it's stormy and it's super uncomfortable and we just want to get out of there. If you have experience with swimming and swimming in the ocean, perhaps you have learned that if you are swimming and you get caught in an undercurrent or a riptide, you should not fight it. If you get caught in an undercurrent or a riptide and it's pulling you out and you try to fight against it, you're going to sink. The tide will win. If you get caught in a riptide, the recommended swim strategy is that you try to stay parallel to the shore. You try to float with the current instead of against it. You try to just keep yourself aligned with the shore, swimming, not wearing yourself out, floating when you need to until you're out of that current, and then you can re-swim back to the shore. And so key to that is you don't fight it. You don't fight against it. You don't flail, because the fighting and the flailing is what pulls you under in the ocean. And the same is true with your emotions. So if you're in a difficult moment, if you're feeling grief, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling depression or anxiety or stress, if you fight that emotion, if you try to push it away, if you try to swim against it, if you try to will it out of existence because you want to positive affirmation your way out of it, you're not going to win. The ocean of emotion is stronger and has strong tides. But if you recognize that you are not those emotions, you are not the ocean, if you can just sit and tread water until the water calms down, then you can make it back to shore. And so that's what I want to do as a practice today. And this might be an uncomfortable one. And so we'll talk through it. I'll be here with you. I'll point you to some resources at the end. But I want you to, in this practice today, to learn to be okay with sitting in uncomfortable emotions, to learn to recognize that uncomfortable emotions, just like waves, just like storms, they come and then they pass, and you don't have to be afraid of them. If you're I'm using a lot of swimming analogies because of the ocean analogy. I've had a lot of swimming training over my life, and if you're a good swimmer, you learn that when you're tired, if the water is stormy, you learn, and you can't get back to shore immediately, you are supposed to tread water, you're supposed to float, you're supposed to do things to preserve your energy until the waters calm down. And that's sort of what this meditation practice is like. It's like treading water in your difficult emotions. It's floating in your difficult emotions. Instead of fighting them, you're just sitting in them. You're just being there for a moment to notice that if you sit calmly in the center, you're not at danger. You're just observing, you're experiencing, you're feeling, and you're okay. And that's a powerful lesson for your body and your brain and your nervous system to absorb, because it helps you then to manage these difficult emotions going forward. It helps you to be less afraid of them, which allows you then to experience the full breadth of who you are as a human, good and bad, fun and difficult emotions, that full rainbow of emotions you can begin to feel and experience and be in, even when they're difficult, even when they're not fun. But know that they don't threaten you, the person at the center, the person who's treading water or floating or observing, whatever metaphor you want to use. You will be okay. You will get through this storm, and we're going to do it together. And so what I want you to do is, whatever it is that you're currently struggling with right now, whatever loss or injustice or pain or suffering, whatever you're dealing with, I want you to bring that to mind. And we're going to take a minute and we're going to come into a comfortable position. So again, whether you're seated, standing, laying down, I want you to open up your shoulders, nice open chest, relax your arms. If you're lying down, they might be relaxed on your sides. If you're seated, they might be open palms on your lap. If you're standing, they can just relax at your sides. Whatever posture is comfortable for you. The big thing is nice open chest, shoulder blades together a little bit so that you've got a good sense of flow for your breath. If you're seated or standing, I want you to tuck your chin in just a little bit so the back of your neck is nice and open, top of the head is level. Seated, standing, feet are nice and grounded, legs are a little bit hip width apart, so you've got a solid base. I'm on a bouncy ball, so I might go up and down a little bit. I'm on a ball chair because that's good for your posture. It's a great way to get a little bit of exercise in your day and work on the muscles of your spine. So you're sitting comfortably, or laying comfortably, or standing in a solid position, whatever works for you as we do these meditations. I'd love you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. take your awareness within. And first, we're just going to do 5 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, to ground us, to bring us into this moment. So take a nice deep inhalation in through your nose, and let the breath sink down into your body. Lower lobes of the lungs expand. Breathe into the lower parts of your lungs. Diaphragm relaxes, stomach expands. As you exhale, belly button back to the spine. Air pushes up and out through your mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Now just keep breathing gently in and out as we sit here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Hold in your mind, in your mind's eye, whatever is going on for you right now, whatever difficulty you're facing, whatever struggle you're working through. Hold that in your mind. And I want you to think about what it is you're feeling. And what I'd really like you to do is to work through those layers of feeling. So maybe you're feeling anger because you've experienced an injustice. Your boss accused you of something. You had a fight with your spouse over chores. You're in conflict with a neighbor or a friend and you don't know how to resolve it. Whatever it is you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling anger over injustice. Maybe you're feeling grief over a deep loss. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of confusion over what to do with your career, your job. Whatever it is you're currently feeling, bring that to mind and try to go underneath that initial layer. What is the core feeling? And I want you to use I feel as you're thinking about this. And you could say it out loud if you've got privacy and you feel comfortable, because sometimes talking to yourself out loud is a great way to work through those layers. If you are in a space where you don't have privacy, just be speaking to yourself in your mind. I feel. So maybe I feel anger. Okay, that's that top layer. What do you feel underneath that? What's feeding that? Why are you angry? Or why are you sad? Or why are you worried? What I have noticed personally, most of the time, when I feel big, difficult emotions, usually if I can go layer by layer by layer down to the core, what I usually feel down at the core is vulnerable. I feel vulnerable. If I'm angry, usually it's because I'm putting on a set of defenses and I want to protect myself, so I'm going to argue with something or fight an injustice. And it's because deep down inside, I feel vulnerable about whatever's going on. I feel maybe not safe and like I don't know what to do. If I'm feeling very sad, if I've lost someone, probably it's because of the comfort that person provided or the way that they gave me a sense of safety and love. And so again, down at the core bottom, for me, my core emotion is usually vulnerability. That's me. You might have a different one, but try to work through those layers until you get down to what is it you feel at your heart of hearts? What is the source of that emotion that you're feeling that's giving you a hard time right now? So for this meditation today, I'm going to use I feel vulnerable because that's my core, most common emotion when I'm dealing with difficult things, but I want you to use whatever is your word. And so we're going to sit in our posture, whatever is your comfortable posture. You're going to close your eyes. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And every time we breathe out through the mouth, we're going to say, I feel, and whatever that deep emotion is. So the example I'll be using, I'll say, I feel vulnerable. And the point of this practice is just to sit and feel and experience that core emotion at the center of your pain. And to know that you can experience it, you can work with it, and you'll be okay at the other end. It's kind of like treading water in the middle of the storm. So we're going to do that for 10 breaths, and then at the end we'll do some breathing and some calming to bring you back here, and we'll talk a little bit about next steps. So sit in your good posture, or stand in your good posture, or lie down in your good posture. Close your eyes. Hold in your heart whatever that emotion is, and you are welcome to use I feel vulnerable with me, but you also can use a different word if it resonates better with you. Take a nice deep inhalation. As you exhale, I feel vulnerable. And I'm going to count to make sure we do 10 rounds of this. Inhale. Exhale, I feel vulnerable. And again, it's important to say the I feel, because it's not that I am vulnerable. I may or may not be. I feel vulnerable. This is about recognizing that we are separate from our emotions and allowing ourselves to tread water in the difficult emotions. Inhale. Exhale. I feel vulnerable. 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 Now I want you to just sit there with your eyes closed. Breathe in and out. And it may be that this brought up some emotional response. You may feel tearful. Your chest may feel tight. Maybe your neck or your back, wherever you hold stress, feels clenched. And that's okay. That's part of the experience of learning to get comfortable in these difficult emotions. And so now we're just going to take a couple of minutes and we're going to breathe in and out. And with each exhalation this time, we're going to say, may I be at peace. So we're going to give ourselves that permission, the openness to get to a space of feeling okay. We'll do this for 5 breaths. Take a nice inhalation. Exhale, may I feel at peace. Inhale. 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 Exhale, may I feel at peace. What I want you to notice is that I didn't ask you to try to change your emotion. I didn't ask you to try to fight your emotion. I didn't ask you to try to push the emotion away. I asked you first to ground yourself in your body with your breath. Then I asked you to feel the core emotion you're feeling. And then I asked you to give yourself permission to feel peace, to feel some healing, to feel a sense of calm after the storm. And that's how we begin to learn to be comfortable with those difficult emotions. We remember to ground ourselves in our bodies because we are here now. We are the person breathing in and out. We are the person observing the emotion. We're not the emotion. We're observing it and we're breathing and we're grounding ourselves here. Once we're in our bodies, then we can just sit and float or tread water, experience the emotion for what it is without trying to fight it. Today we just did this as a 10-breath practice. If you're dealing with really big emotions, you might want to set a 15 or a 20-minute timer and really give yourself a long time to feel that emotion, knowing that the timer is going to go off and it'll be done and you get to get out of it. But that in that moment, you'll just be in that emotion. You'll let the tears come, or you'll let the rage seethe out of you if it's anger and you need to get all the anger out. Whatever it is, you'll just feel it and let those emotions come. Let your body express those emotions in a safe, alone, quiet space where you're safe and you're just observing them. And then at the end, you'll breathe again and give yourself permission for healing, for peace, for calm. Use whatever words resonate for you. May I be okay? If you don't think peace and healing and calm are attainable, just say, may I be okay? Give yourself permission to just be okay if that's all that seems feasible. But you're giving yourself permission to separate from the emotional storm. Doesn't mean the storm goes away. It just means you recognize that you're you, you're okay, you're breathing. The storm is over there for a minute and you're going to just step out of it. And when it comes back over you again, you'll breathe through it. You'll notice, I am feeling anger, or I am feeling depression, or I am feeling grief, or I am feeling vulnerable. Whatever you're feeling, feel it, notice it, breathe through it, and then give yourself some permission to take a break, to calm, to relax, to heal. I know this is a lot. Try it for the next week. Try it with whatever difficult emotions you're going on. If you have questions, shoot me a note in the comments, either on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. You can also send me an email on my website. You'll find contact information if you have a deeper question and you want to ask. I'll be doing more videos about breath-based techniques to help you deal with your emotions, to help you heal your heart, chair-based yoga strategies. So tell me how I can help you continue to heal and to continue to use this gentle, adaptive, mindfulness-based practice of meditation and movement to heal your body, your heart, your soul, and to live your best life. Keep me posted how you're doing and how I can be of help. And thank you for giving me the honor of your time today. Be well. A moment of gratitude to my amazing team. Thank you for being part of the Kimberly Bethany Benora LLC production crew. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Kimberly Bethany Benora. You can find me on the web at www.drkimberlybenora.com. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Dr. Kimberly Benora. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe.